Hi guys, Chess Learning for Life here, back with another video. So today we're looking at another one of my rapid games, which I think is very instructive. Although the evaluation is going up and down, very roller coaster, and really I didn't play really well this game, but there's still some instructive moments that I would like to share with you. So this is a Nimzo-Indian, and as you know, I'm a classical believer. Queen c2. The idea behind this is to basically protect the knight with the queen, so if bishop captures, I can capture back with the queen without doubling my pawns. But as you see, because I went for the aggressive e4 right here, and after e5, my d4 pawn is very pressured. So here I went knight e2, which is kind of inaccurate, I think, because here you can exploit it by taking here and even taking again, because after all of this he can exploit that my king is still not castled, and after f3 f5, oops, f5, the position is not that good for white. So here he had a chance to exploit that, and if bishop takes, pawn takes, then here this is the typical Nimzo-Indian structure, but it's very bad for white because I can't push e5, and so my bishop and queen is trapped behind the e4 pawn, and this pawn is fairly weak. These pawns are also fairly weak. So here he didn't exploit it, except he played h6, which is given an inaccuracy. And because here I immediately noticed my mistake and went a3, forced the bishop trade, so I can take back with the pawn instead of the knight or the queen, so I can strengthen my center, my protection over d4. So here b6, the idea is to fianchetto the bishop, or bishop a6 and then knight c6 to a5, a very typical idea to attack my weak c4 pawn. Here I castled, he developed, I went f4. So here I'm trying to break open his center, I'm trying to open up lines for my bishops. So queen e7, I went h3. Now h3 is a good move because I don't have an f pawn, my f pawn is pushed to f4, I can't go f3, so I might as well go h3 to prevent any knight jumps or bishop jumps to g4. So here he goes for this idea, knight a5, bishop a6. I went knight g3. Oh no, I took first, which is inaccurate. So I want to go knight g3, I want to keep this flexible, because after bishop a6 I can go queen e2. But this is still fine. Takes knight g3, and then c5. Here I missed a very important idea. So here I went d5, but I actually should have taken the pawn, because if he takes back, then I have bishop f4, his queen has to move away somewhere, and then I can go e5 to open up this line. So in the Nimzo-Indian, if white can open up this diagonal for the bishop and the queen, then white has a very large advantage. So here maybe best is to go knight e8 back, and then I can already hop my knight in, and this is very good for white. Computer gives plus 1.2. So going back here, I made the mistake of locking up the center. Now my bishop is just dead, and this position is very bad for white. I even gave up my knight for the bishop right here. In order to try and open up lines, I thought if I could play f6, then I may still be good. But of course he plays f6 himself to block it. It's given an inaccuracy, but it's still a very good move. The knight is coming to d6, my c4 pawn is getting targeted, my f5 pawn is getting targeted, and here I just went searching for counterplay on the king side. So this is a typical idea, a rook lift to try and attack the black king. So in the Nimzo-Indian defense, white has a poor structure, but his chances lie in the bishop pair if you can open up the position, and also a kingside attack. So here, knight d6, and my opponent starts running away. But here there was no need of running away, because the king was not really in danger. I was just threatening bishop takes h6, right? So why not just go e4, kick my bishop away, and just take this pawn. And now my rook is attacked, and he also defends his h6 pawn. So here you might think I can take on h6 to attack this pawn, but then again knight takes f5 defends everything. Look at this beautiful knight right here. So he misses that. I went queen e2 to defend everything, looking at h5. He went rook h8, which is given an inaccuracy, but I think is the best move, because it's basically a prophylaxis move. Like, my idea is queen h5 check and maybe sack the bishop. Now he just defends the h6 pawn calmly, and now after I checked, I don't know what to do. I just went back with the queen. Here I could have tried like developing like this, but then my c4 pawn is just lost, right? So I went here. He's preparing for the e4 push. I just developed. I thought I was pretty lost, like right now. I'm like losing a pawn or two at least. Here I didn't understand why he prepared everything but still didn't play e4, because after he plays e4, I could my f5 pawn is just lost, and my rook is like kind of trapped right here. So I didn't understand why he didn't go for that. And now I developed my rook, prevented e4, not really preventing it, because he can still play it after captures knight takes f5. Wait, no, not knight takes f5, because then after bishop takes, then I'm attacking his queen. No, but instead after bishop takes, he can actually sack. I mean, like, it's not really sacking, because after all of this, it's two rooks for queen and rook, and bishop for knight. But here, maybe his king is a little bit trapped, but he can just go king f7, and then just bring the rook here. So yeah, I really don't understand why he didn't go for e4. He misses opportunities. Like, you can't just second guess your plans. You have to be sure what you're doing and just execute your plans, right? So here he was, yeah, still looking for pawn grabs, but actually he could have just grabbed pawns like this instead, or just take, I guess. Wait, no. Takes blunders to queen h5 check. So like always be careful. But like actually just e4. Here I went for the counterattack, and here he makes a really bad mistake, which is continue pawn grabbing. This just blunders the whole game away. Now here you could have just went for a calm rook e7, or just admit that you're wrong and go back with the queen. But now after you grab the pawn with your queen, look, this diagonal is blocked. The queen needs 2 steps to go back for defense. Now pause the video, find the move for white. Now there's two good moves. I'll talk about the first one. First one is just simply queen g6, and after rook g8 the pawn is pinned, and after rook e7 can you find this move? So it's rook takes e5, and if rook takes, then of course queen takes g7 and then rook is hanging. If pawn takes, there's queen takes d6, and who's stopping f6, right? If you give a check, okay, king up. Yeah, so this is the first solution. The second solution is what I went for, which is rook takes g7. So after king takes, I gave a check, I took the pawn, and here, what's the best winning plan for white? So the best winning plan for white is actually just a simple queen g6, threatening f6, and there's nothing that black could do. You could pause the video, try and find a good defense for black, but I don't see it. f6 is kind of just unstoppable right here. If you run the king, okay, I still give a check, and I just take your knight. And this position with the bishop pair, a wide open king, and a very deep pawn, very deep queen, black is not escaping from this. But here, I went for the slightly inaccurate bishop e2, which gives black a chance to reroute the knight to defend. So my idea was just to go bishop h5, attack the knight. But here, if I still go for this, knight d6, then suddenly all my advantage is gone. So here I still have to go queen g6. And then after, like, if knight d6 to defend, f6, and I mean, you can try moving the rook away, but then who's defending this position? Now I'm threatening to take the rook, and if you go rook f8, then this pawn is also hanging. So everything comes together, right? All because black went for pawn grabs instead of going for the initiative and taking my central pawns. Instead, he went for the queenside pawns with his queen, and his defense just fell apart. Here, he defended with the rook instead. Wait, no. He tried going back with the queen. And then after bishop h5, he defended with the rook. And now, there's two ways to win. Basically, two ways. I mean, three technically. I mean, there's actually a lot of ways. So, if you take, and just take here, and check, then you can just win a rook right here. And if rook to g8, just take, get the rook to e7, and nobody's stopping mate. So another way is actually just straight up bishop takes h6, and then his rook can't move. And then here, just a very typical idea, a rook lift, nobody stopping rook g3 checkmate. So here what I went for is attacking the rook. Now here, yes, I can win his rook, but actually queen e7 would still, like, kind of not really defend, because after I take the rook, bishop takes h6 is still there. But he just went for queen takes c4, which I just took on h6. And here, if he went to g8, I could just take the rook and mate. But he just took my bishop, and here queen takes f7 mate. So I hope you learned a lot in this video. Be sure to subscribe because I post a lot of instructive chess content, hopefully instructive. And be sure to like the video if you like this one, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.